I was making coffee on a Saturday morning when she came out of the bedroom, grabbed her purse, and said flat out, "I just need space. Don't message me." No fight. No lead up. Just that. She didn't even look at me. Just walked past like we were co-workers leaving a meeting. She opened the hall closet and pulled out the small suitcase she usually took to conferences. That's when I finally asked, "Where are you going?" She didn't miss a beat. "Somewhere quiet. I'll be back Monday." Something about the way she said it, it wasn't frantic or sad or even cold. It was like she had practiced. Like this was just an item on her to-do list. Get gas. Pick up coffee. Vanish for a weekend. She closed the front door behind her, and I stood there, coffee half-brewed, wondering if I'd missed something. Had we argued recently? Had I forgotten an anniversary? A birthday? No. Nothing like that. We'd had takeout on the couch last night. Watched a dumb thriller on Netflix. She even fell asleep on my shoulder. So, no. There was no warning. At least not the kind I could recognize in real time. About 10 minutes after she left, I went to grab my phone off the charger in the bedroom and noticed her iPad sitting on the nightstand, screen lit. Probably left it by accident. I didn't plan to touch it. I swear I didn't. But then the screen dimmed and lit again, an iCloud pop-up syncing new photos. The curiosity crept in, slow and quiet, until I found myself holding the iPad, just staring at it. She wanted space, right? Not a conversation. Not a chance to explain. Just distance. Digital silence. She told me not to message her, but she didn't log out of anything. That part hit me sideways. Because if you're running from someone, you take your devices. You scrub your trail. But she left the door cracked open, just enough for the truth to slip out. Almost like she didn't realize the tech would betray her. Or maybe she didn't care. I should have left it alone. I know that. But I tapped the Photos app. At first, it was normal stuff. Selfies, ocean views, latte art, basic vacation material. I figured maybe I was wrong. Maybe this really was just a solo recharge trip. That lasted about 3 seconds. Because halfway down the row of images, there it was, a guy's arm slung around her shoulder. Tattoo sleeve. Aviators. Kissing her cheek while she grinned like a teenager. I stared at the photo. Not just because of what it showed, but because of when. The timestamp was from that morning. An hour before she left. She hadn't gone to find quiet. She went to meet him. And she'd booked it. The hotel reservation confirmation was in one of the images, a reflection in a mirror behind their champagne glasses. I zoomed in. The date on the printout? 2 weeks ago. I laughed, but it didn't sound right coming out. More like a cough with bitterness around the edges. 2 weeks ago, she had asked if I wanted to go see her parents that weekend. I said I had work. She nodded like it was fine. She already had other plans. I closed the iPad and just sat there, holding it in my lap like a bomb that had already gone off. The room was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that doesn't just sit around, it judges you. I stood up, looked around the apartment, and realized something. She wanted space. And now so did I. The next morning, I woke up before sunrise and sat at the kitchen table with the iPad again. I couldn't help it. Something in me needed to know the full story. Like maybe if I saw it all, it would hurt less. Or make more sense. The Photos app had sorted everything by date and location, so it didn't take long to follow their little adventure. Friday evening, them in a car, his car, from the look of it. A black Range Rover with a custom decal on the dash. He was driving, she was in the passenger seat, holding up a peace sign like she was in high school again. Then came the selfies. Her in a long sweater, no makeup, just glowing. Him in the background, hand on her thigh. They looked comfortable. Too comfortable. Like this wasn't new. A photo from a cabin porch, early morning sunlight, 2 coffee mugs, feet tangled under a blanket. Another one later that day, standing in front of a vineyard tasting room. The kind of place we always said we'd visit someday. And then the one that sealed it, her in a hot tub, leaning back into his chest, his lips pressed to her neck, both smiling like they'd won some kind of prize. I paused on that photo not because of the kiss, but because of his left hand. A wedding band. Not a ring you wear for style, plain silver, scuffed. The kind you forget is even there because it's been on for so long. My stomach turned. Not just because my wife was with someone else, but because he was too. I opened my laptop and did something I hadn't done in years, a reverse image search. I pulled one of the clearest shots of his face and ran it through a few tools. It didn't take long. Facebook. His name was Ryan Adams. Lives in Lake Oswego. Married. 2 kids. 1 boy, 1 girl. His wife's name was Jenna. They had family photos posted just last month, pumpkin patch, matching flannel, big toothy grins. A perfect little postcard life. I clicked through his profile in disbelief. Ryan was a project manager at some environmental firm. Jenna worked part-time at a boutique. Nothing flashy. Just regular, boring suburbia. And now he was off at a weekend getaway with my wife, like he didn't just nuke two families with one selfish spark. I clicked over to Jenna's profile. Her page was mostly locked down, but there was one public post from the day before, missing my guy this weekend, but glad he's getting some much-needed rest. Heart emoji. Completely clueless. I sat there, numb, clicking between their pictures and mine. Seeing the timeline side by side made everything so clear. He'd been planning this with her for weeks. The cabin, the winery, the trip. That wasn't spontaneous. That was coordination. Then I remembered the reflection in the mirror from last night, the hotel booking confirmation. I pulled the photo up again and zoomed in. The screen behind them showed the reservation details. Hilton, room 227. Friday through Monday. Reserved under her name. Booked 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. She told me she was thinking about needing some space just 5 days ago. But she'd already picked the place, made the plan, packed the suitcase, and synced her calendar with this guy. I put the iPad down and leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. They weren't just cheating. They were comfortable. Posed. Laughing. Holding hands like they'd done it 100 times. It wasn't some fling. This was routine. Familiar. And now I had a name. A face. A home address. A wife's profile. Hell, I even had his kids' names. The digital trail told me more in 30 minutes than she had in 10 years of marriage. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to smash her iPad and pretend I never saw any of it. But another part, one I hadn't met before, was strangely calm. If she wanted secrets, she should have kept them better. Because now I had everything I needed. And I wasn't going to confront her. No. Not yet. I was going to follow her rules exactly. No calls. No messages. Just space. She left her truth lying around like it didn't matter. So I'd let it breathe. Let it grow. Until I decided it was time to share it. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I didn't even let her know I'd seen the photos. She wanted space? Fine. I gave it to her, plenty of it. But I wasn't going to sit on this forever. Sunday morning, I sat down at the kitchen table with her iPad on one side, my phone on the other. I scrolled back through the photos and picked the one that hit the hardest. The two of them at dinner, candles lit, wine glasses full, her hand resting on his, fingers laced. They looked like a couple who had just toasted to forever. I saved the image and uploaded it to Facebook. Not just my feed, public. Wide open. I didn't say much. Just a caption that read, "Looks like they needed a little space from their marriages." Then I tagged them. Both of them. My wife. Her quiet weekend lover. And his wife, Jenna. It only took 5 minutes. First came the texts. One from her. "What the hell did you just do?" Then him. "Dude. Take this down now. You're making this worse than it needs to be." Then 3 calls from Jenna. Back to back. I didn't answer any of them. Let them sit with it. My phone buzzed nonstop for the next hour. Messages, missed calls, even emails. My wife sent a long paragraph about privacy and making things worse for everyone involved. She had the nerve to ask how I could be so cruel. Cruel? Cruel was sneaking out for a romantic weekend while pretending to need space. Cruel was leaving your iPad behind like your secrets wouldn't catch up to you. Cruel was booking a hotel with someone else while sleeping next to me every night. So no, I didn't feel bad. I felt clear. Like a fog had finally lifted. Then I got a message I didn't expect. From her sister, Taylor. I told her not to go. "I'm sorry, man. She's been lying to you for a while." I stared at the message for a long time. Taylor had always been the quiet one at family gatherings. Never took sides. Never spoke up unless asked. But that message said everything I needed to hear. She knew. And she had tried to stop it. I responded with just 2 words. "Thank you." A few hours later, I looked back at the Facebook post. Over 200 reactions. Dozens of comments. Some from mutual friends. A few saying things like, "Damn, didn't expect this," or "Wow, this is messy." But others? They were supportive. "Good on you for exposing it. Cheaters never think they'll get caught. This is what happens when people think they're smarter than the truth." I didn't reply to any of them. I didn't need to. The silence was louder. That night, I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb and watched a movie alone. Something dumb with explosions and bad dialogue. Exactly what I needed. Around midnight, I saw the light from the hallway. She had come home. Quiet. Careful. Like maybe if she didn't make noise, this could all rewind. I didn't get up. I didn't say a word. She walked into the kitchen. Saw the iPad still sitting there. Then the look on her face told me everything she knew. She knew the photos had given her away. She knew the damage had already been done. And I hadn't even raised my voice. Because sometimes silence cuts deeper than rage. And this time I wanted her to feel every inch of it. By Sunday morning, the post had already done its job. The truth was out and there was no reeling it back in. I woke up to messages from mutual friends, people I hadn't talked to in months, suddenly remembering I existed. Some were supportive. A few asked if it was a hack. Others just sent wide-eyed emojis like this was entertainment. But none of them were surprised. That part stung more than I wanted to admit. One friend messaged, "Honestly, I always thought something was off. Sorry, man." Another wrote, "Damn, I didn't know you'd go public. But good for you." Jenna messaged again around 9. This time with screenshots. One showed a chat between her and Ryan. She had confronted him point blank. "Is it true?" she had asked. He didn't even deny it. "Yeah," he wrote. "It just happened. I didn't plan it. Didn't plan it. Classic. Just fell into a cabin weekend with another man's wife. Happens to the best of us, right?" Then came the final blow from Jenna. "He's out. Took his stuff and left. I told the kids he's on a work trip. I'll figure out the rest later." She added, "Thank you for the truth. It hurts, but it helps." I stared at her message for a while. We were two strangers connected by betrayal. No comfort in it, really, just clarity. And that was enough. That night, around 10, I heard the key in the door again. She was home. No suitcase this time. No dramatic entrance. Just the quiet sound of the lock turning, then the door closing behind her. I stayed sitting on the couch, TV muted, watching her walk in like she hadn't set off a nuclear bomb 2 days earlier. She froze when she saw me. Her eyes flicked to the kitchen where her iPad still sat like a corpse. She swallowed hard and asked, "Why would you do that?" No hello. No apology. Just straight to damage control. I didn't even blink. "You asked for space," I said. "I gave you public space." She winced. "You made a scene. You embarrassed both of us." I turned my head slightly, keeping my voice even. "I didn't do anything you didn't already do. I just stopped covering for it." She stepped forward, slowly, hands clenched like she didn't know whether to beg or explode. "It wasn't supposed to mean anything," she said quietly. "It was just a weekend. I just needed to clear my head." I actually laughed. "I couldn't help it. You booked the hotel 2 weeks ago." She went quiet. "You packed the night before," I continued. "You had the cabin, the dinners, the hot tub, all of it ready before you ever asked for space." She sat down across from me, but she didn't try to reach for my hand. Didn't cry. Just stared at the floor like a kid waiting for detention to end. "I was going to tell you," she said after a while. I didn't know how." "You were never going to tell me," I said. "You were just going to come back Monday, pretend you got some rest, maybe even be extra nice for a few weeks." She didn't deny it. I leaned back. "Don't bother lying anymore. It's done." Her eyes welled up then. Not full tears, just enough to play the part. She whispered, "I lost everything this weekend." "Not everything," I said, standing up. "You still have your job. For now." She blinked. "What do you mean?" I didn't look at her. Just walked to the hallway, pulled out her work laptop, and handed it to her. "Your boyfriend? The one with the wedding band? He works for one of your vendors. His wife already messaged your company's HR." Her face went pale. "You're lying." I shrugged. "Check your email? Or don't. Either way, you're going to have a fun Monday." I walked to the bedroom and closed the door behind me. She didn't follow. Just sat there in the living room, staring into the dark. For once, she had no script. No excuse. No twist. And that was the first time I felt something close to peace. Not because she was hurting, but because I wasn't the one holding the guilt anymore. She could keep her silence. But now, the silence belonged to her. "We're separated now." She moved in with her sister the day after the HR meeting. I didn't ask for details, but I heard through the grapevine that she took some kind of leave from work. Stress-related? Yeah, I bet. Turns out when your weekend affair partner is tied to a vendor account and your name shows up in HR complaints, people start asking questions fast. I haven't spoken to her since she left. Not a word. Not a call, not a text. Nothing. And honestly, it's been the easiest silence I've ever lived with. There's something freeing about watching a liar run out of stories. Jenna and I keep in touch. Not in a weird, rebound way, just two people comparing scars from the same wound. She sends the occasional meme or a screenshot of Ryan's latest excuses. Apparently, he's sleeping on his brother's couch now. His wife kicked him out. His company dropped him as a supplier. And from what she tells me, the guy still thinks he's the victim in all of this. Some people are just built that way, born to cheat and wired to feel sorry for themselves when they get caught. A week after she left, I found an envelope on my doorstep. No knock, no message, just sitting there like a dead bird. Her handwriting on the front. I didn't open it. I didn't even bring it inside. I stood there on the porch for a while, just staring at it. Part of me wondered what it said. Was it an apology? A plea? Some long explanation she thought would fix everything? Whatever it was, I knew it didn't matter. Because if the truth needed explaining, it probably wasn't the truth. So I left it there. Went back inside. Let the rain soak it through overnight. Funny thing is, I'm not even angry anymore. That part passed somewhere between the Facebook post and the hotel confirmation date. Now I just feel done. Not the fake kind of done you say during an argument, but the real kind. The kind where you don't even check the door when your phone rings. I've started sleeping better. Eating better. Hell, I even got back into running. Something I hadn't done since we got married. She always said it made her feel ignored when I went out alone. Yeah? I run 6 miles a day. Silence in my earbuds. Just me in the road. A few friends asked if I regret going public. If I think I should have handled it more maturely. Maybe. But maturity doesn't mean swallowing lies just to keep appearances neat. Sometimes maturity is doing the one thing nobody expects, telling the truth out loud with names attached. I don't need revenge. I don't need closure. What I needed was distance. And now I have it. Last week I found her wedding ring in the drawer where we used to keep the spare keys. She must have left it when she packed. I held it for a second, just long enough to realize it weighed nothing. Then I dropped it in the trash. No ceremony. No dramatic goodbye. Just letting go of what already let go of me. So yeah, we're separated now. Not legally, not yet. But in all the ways that count. And when people ask what happened, I don't give them the long version. I just say, she asked for space. I gave it to her. She didn't like what she found there. And that's the truth. No edits. No filters. Just peace.